Ross Ulbricht, the kingpin known for hosting illegal transactions through the dark web, has been sentenced to life in prison. Founder of Silk Road, a lucrative marketplace for an accessible way to plug in and operate anonymously. There were 1 million registered users and no law enforcement in sight. The problem was this site was selling illegal passports and narcotics found on the streets, making it easy for people to obtain addictive substances that led to overdoses that resulted in death. Margaret, this website got a lot of traffic when Gawker published an article about it, and that's kind of where he basically blew up on the internet of the dark web. But comes to find out, the past 2 years when he was operating, he had a lot of money that was accumulating under Bitcoins, which is virtual currency. And they caught him in the Glen Park Library in San Francisco, and when they confiscated his computer, they found over millions of these Bitcoins. And what's really strange about this, even though he's been convicted for money laundering and for trafficking drugs and these illegal passports, what really foreshadows and how they really were able to catch this guy in kind of his darkness and the evil that he was doing is that he had 5 for-hit murders that he wanted to actually try to hire people under the dark web to take care of these people who were trying to essentially blackmail him. These people were going back and forth on email saying that, oh, I'm going to give up all your clients, I'm going to give you away, and he ended up hiring these informants that he didn't even know he was speaking to.
Well, I mean, what he did was bad in that aspect, but Ross is a really brilliant young man, in my opinion. You know, using the cryptocurrency that he was using, I mean, what a brilliant concept, and I find him to be really ingenuitive and talented. It's a shame that he didn't use those talents more magnanimously than he has, but this judge was really set out to make an example of him. She exemplified him in the worst way possible, deservedly or not, you know, that's the debate on the table, but his sentence was really disproportionate to what you typically see other drug traffickers receive. I mean, this young man, beyond brilliant, unquestionably smart, getting life in prison. I was looking at his Facebook page. It looks like he's tutoring people in prison, so at least some good is coming out of it, but what a tragic waste of talent.
I mean, but is he really smart or is he really stupid? I mean, within 2 years to have this operation, yes, it was making a lot of money for him, but he went down within 2 years, and he obviously didn't play very smart. He did say, he was quoted in trial when he said, he was quoted by saying, "I wanted to empower people to make choices in their lives, anonymity. I'm not a sociopathic person trying to express some inner badness." And a lot of people said he was just merely hosting a site that he shouldn't be in trouble for. But at the same time, he did do 5 for-hit murders. During the trial, Judge Forrest had her life threatened. All her information was put on Hidden Wiki, which is a wiki under the dark web, right. Her social security, her address. And so even though he wasn't convicted of these crimes, because he actually used it for his defense team, ironically enough, it just goes to show that he did operate a bit of a sociopathic way, and he was greedy, and he definitely, I don't think, was that smart by being captured within 2 years of a business. Yeah, he had a lot of money because he was selling millions of drugs, you know, across the border. You know, I guess in some ways that was one way he got away with it, but that's what everybody does. They do a lot of bad crimes on the dark web, and there was 5 overdoses, unfortunately.
I mean, you know, I'm not a psychiatrist. I don't know his sociopathy or the degree to which he was experiencing, you know, whatever he was. I mean, unquestionably, if what's true about him, that he did these hits for hire, obviously that's really jacked up, honestly. But brilliant, beyond brilliant, in my opinion. You know, his graduate work, polymeric solar cells, was one of the topics that he discussed. He was a fan of Austrian economics, really good writer, really gifted young man. I hate to see somebody's talent go to waste like this, but
yeah, he had 2 collegiate degrees. I mean, he was very smart, but he decided to go a different route with his abilities. Judge Forrest was quoted in saying, "The idea that it's harm reducing is so very narrow. It's about a privilege and groups sitting in their home with their high-speed internet connections." And you're absolutely right. I mean, she did say there are consequences. There's not ultimate freedom, and you basically she threw the book at him and said no parole and no chance to, this is your opus and you're going to go down with it because you can't, there are restrictions and there's consequences to selling drugs on the dark web. We'd like to hear your comments below about the sentencing of Ulbricht, and please leave your comments, and thank you for subscribing to the Lip TV too.